Welcome to Watch Symposium. I'm Austin. All right, so how accurate is my newly serviced Rolex Sea Dweller 16600? Let's talk about it. All right, so a little backstory. I had this watch serviced at RSC Japan in Tokyo about 3 months ago. I've had it for the last couple months. This is pretty much the only watch I wear, except on occasion I'll take it off to wear a lower end watch, and it's actually related to the accuracy of this watch. So we'll talk about why I do that, but certainly it's the only high-end watch I've been wearing for the past 3 months. I know it well. Now, if you've seen my videos and you know me, you know I have a penchant, an obsession with accuracy. When it comes to a mechanical watch, I think the pinnacle is an accurate mechanical watch. Sure, I could go quartz, but that's cheating. Achieving accuracy with a mechanical watch, that is the beauty. That's what impresses me with high-end watch brands, particularly Rolex. So this is my horological fetish. So when I have a watch serviced, I always have this conversation that this is important to me. You know, don't worry about polishing the watch. You put that extra effort into regulating it. I like it a little bit fast, plus 5 seconds a day, plus 1 a day. I have this conversation because in the past I've had to take watches back. I mean, all right, to be fair, I didn't have to take the watches back. I'm talking about a 16710 A serial. I got it back, it was running plus 4, plus 5 a day, which is amazing. But of course, if you have an accuracy fixation, you're gonna want something a little bit tighter. So to save myself that experience of having to have that awkward conversation of, hey, can you re-regulate this COSC regulated watch that's running within spec right now? To save myself that conversation, you know, you have that initial conversation before they start working on the watch. So when I got the call from RSC to pick up the watch, the woman I talked to was really excited. She said, you're gonna be really happy about the accuracy of the watch, and I was stoked. I was a bit touched. I thought, wow, it looks like they really put a lot of effort in there. But at the same time, I was a little bit worried because I thought high expectations. And you know, I don't know if this was a bit of a trick on her part, kind of like, we worked really hard on this, so when you get it back, I hope you're happy with it. We don't want to see you coming back here. I wondered about that. So I picked it up from RSC. I checked the time compared to a GPS watch. It was dead on, right? I put it on and I started wearing it. 12 hours later, I compared it to that GPS watch, and how was it? Was it dead on? Was it a little fast? That would be a plus. Or disaster, was it slow? Well, disaster, it was about -1. Okay, that's all right. I continued to wear it. Now, sometimes people say that watches need to settle, meaning that after an overhaul, all those oils need to sort of distribute. And so about a month later, they distribute and it starts running more consistently. So I thought I'll just hang tight, see how it goes. Other people say watches don't need to do that, all right? And in my experience, Rolex watches don't need to have a break-in period. I think Rolex does that. I think that's why it takes so long for them to give you back your watch. I think that's what they're doing. So in my experience, when you get back a Rolex watch from an overhaul, how it's running when you get it is how it's going to be running a year from now. But still, I thought I'd wait and see. Now, I was wearing the watch 24 hours a day, all day, all night. The only time I took it off was just to shower. And so it wasn't ever sitting idle. -2 is the accuracy of this watch if you just wear it all the time, all right? But I started doing some experiments. In the past, Rolex used to include a little piece of paper indicating how you could position your watch in different ways to either speed it up or slow it down when you take it off at night. You know, face up, face down, or crown up or crown down. Now, I've heard the modern watches, the positioning has no effect, and I've heard the same thing with the neo-vintage watches like this. So, you know, it's not something that you want as a watchmaker. Positioning should have, ideally, no effect, but it's interesting that in the past you could use this disadvantage to your advantage in regulating your watch. So I thought I would do that. I started taking it off at night, and crown up, crown down, slowed it down even more. But I tried putting it face down, and I noticed it slowed it down to -0.5 seconds a day. Okay, so that's better. So I stopped sleeping with the watch. But still, it was a little bit slow. And eventually I had this idea, and I thought, what would happen if I just let it run for a while? And so that's what I did. All right, so this is important. As a mechanical watch powers down, they tend to run faster, and that's because the balance wheel, as it loses power, it doesn't make those wide swings. As it loses power, the rotations tend to be shorter. Okay, so instead of being like this, it kind of a little bit shorter. And so that makes the balance wheel hit the pallet fork at a higher rate, and that speeds up the watch. So as the watch powers down, it gets faster. I thought about that, and I thought, what if I just left it off the wrist for 24 hours? I did it. It sped it up to 5 seconds. So I could add 5 seconds by not wearing it for 24 hours. Hence, that's why I would wear those lower end watches. So about once a week, I'll take the watch off. I'll wear either a Casio Timex Q or some other low-end watch I have. So there you have it. On wrist, 100% of the time, it's -2. If I take it off at night, put it face down, and then pick it up in the morning, and every day for a month, it'll be -0.5 seconds a day. But if once a week I just take it off and I leave it for 24 hours, and I get up in the morning and I put on the Timex Q, the next day when I pick up the Sea Dweller, it tacks on +5. So this watch was set by the woman at RSC, and it hasn't been hacked since. Now, I have hacked the crown to change the date, but that's it. 3 months later, how accurate is it? On this day of October 28th, 2022, the Sea Dweller is +8. Yesterday when I took it off, it was +10. I knew I was going to make this video, so I left it crown up, and that shaved 2 seconds off of it. So as you can see, it's highly accurate, but that's because of the positioning. So I'm not going to be taking it back. I really like it. Once a week, I get to enjoy another watch. It helps me appreciate this watch when I come back to it. I love it. Sometimes I don't want to take it off, but I know I have to. I've had it -10, and I've brought it back to dead on ±0, and I've had it up to +15, and I just keep wearing it, and it brings it back to 0 because I'm regulating this watch via its defects. The positioning, that's a defect, and the fact that it gains power as it powers down, that's another defect. That's okay, I'll go with it. It's climbed Mount Fuji with me, did a great job. In fact, I think this is probably even a better mountaineering watch than the Explorer, or even perhaps the Explorer 2, although you don't have a second time zone. Let me know what you think. Take care. Thanks for watching. See you next time. The live show is scheduled. Link in the description. If you're in the States, it's going to be in the middle of the night. Is it worth getting up for? Hell yeah, it is. That's no hyperbole. It really is. See you then.